Imagine this. You've slipped into a parallel reality, one where Black Adam's post-credit scene wasn't just a last-minute surprise, but the beginning of something seismic. Henry Cavill's Superman return wasn't symbolic or temporary. It was permanent. In this world, Warner Brothers didn't hit the reset button. They didn't hire James Gunn to start from scratch. They stayed the course. They looked at what they'd built with the DCEU and said, let's fix it, let's complete it. And just like that, Man of Steel 2 was greenlit. A darker, more mature sequel where Superman is no longer just struggling with his place in the world, but embracing it, leading it. Brainiac could have been the villain, a calculated threat, forcing Kal-El to defend not just Earth, but its very idea of free will. We would have seen Superman as both Messiah and man, someone who's finally stepping out of the shadow of doubt and into the light of confident leadership. And that's not all. Ben Affleck's Batman was ready to go. There was a script, there was a storyboard, there was a director. It was him. His solo movie would have been a grounded, violent, psychological masterpiece set largely inside Arkham, featuring Deathstroke as the main antagonist. Think The Raid meets the Batman, but with an older, emotionally scarred Bruce Wayne at the helm. That story would have been personal, and it would have given Affleck the closure his Batman never received. Meanwhile, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman 3 could have learned from the flaws of WW84. We're talking about a return to her warrior roots. More Themyscira, more gods, more battles that challenge her ideology, not just her strength. Maybe a proper arc with Donna Troy, or even Nubia. A deeper dive into the mythos of the Amazons that was always teased, never explored. Jason Momoa's Aquaman would still have swum forward with the Lost Kingdom, but in this version, it would be more than a visual effects showcase. Atlantis would become geopolitically significant, a literal oceanic superpower facing pressure from the surface world. Themes like climate change, identity, and legacy could have made this a deeper sequel, not just a fantasy epic. Even Ezra Miller's Flash wouldn't be used as a glorified reset button. The multiverse story would have been a way to expand, not erase. We might have seen Grant Gustin, Michael Keaton, even a Thomas Wayne Batman. But it would have ended with the core DCEU timeline intact. A multiverse that adds, not deletes. Ray Fisher's Cyborg, fully restored to the League, could have become the emotional core once more, evolving into a leader, not a side character. And don't forget, Martian Manhunter had already been introduced. Green Lanterns were waiting in the wings. Black Adam and Shazam were finally on a collision course. A true Justice League 2 was building organically, piece by piece. Now let's zoom out. Would that have been better than what we're getting with the DCU reboot? At first glance, it's tempting to say yes. The DCEU had momentum. It had beloved actors in key roles. Fans were emotionally invested. It had a tone, dark, mythic, operatic. Snyder's vision, for all its flaws, treated these heroes like gods walking among mortals. There was weight to the storytelling, tragedy to their journeys, symbolism in every frame. It wasn't just comic book content, it was myth-making. Compare that to the DCU we're entering now. It's colorful, lighter, more comic accurate, at least in tone. James Gunn's Superman, 2025, looks like a soft reboot, trying to be both fun and emotional. It may succeed critically, it may bring back general audiences, but here's the trade-off. You're asking the audience to start over, to reinvest from zero. You're hoping they'll forget the 6-film journey with Cavill, that they'll let go of Affleck, that Gadot's Wonder Woman and Momoa's Aquaman will fade quietly into the Elseworlds drawer. Here's where it gets complex. The DCEU had vision, but lacked consistency. It was bold but chaotic. Critics often found it too serious, too self-important. Characters were introduced too quickly. Some arcs felt unfinished, rushed, or overstuffed, and without a Feige-like figure guiding it, it often swerved between tones, between creators, between release strategies. On the other hand, the DCU reboot may finally give Warner Brothers that structure, a reset with a clear narrative blueprint. It has the chance to course-correct before the chaos begins. A fresh slate, but here's the thing. Structure is not the same as soul. The DCEU, for all its disorder, had soul. It felt risky. It felt different. It wasn't Marvel light. It wasn't trying to be everyone's favorite. It was trying to say something. That's why fans rallied for the Snyder Cut. That's why Cavill's brief return shook the internet. That's why people still miss the DCEU, even now, because it felt like ours. So, would it have been better? If nurtured properly, yes. If the studio had stopped interfering mid-projects, allowed directors to finish what they started, trusted their creators, it could have been a masterpiece. Not perfect, but a cinematic universe built on legacy, not do-overs. Right now, the DCU has promise, but it has a long road ahead, and the emotional climb it must make to match what the DCEU already meant to fans is steep. If you ask me, I still wish they'd seen it through. I wish we had that final Justice League arc. I wish we saw Batfleck's fall, Superman's rise, Wonder Woman's legacy. I wish we got Man of Steel too. That world wasn't clean, but it was compelling. And sometimes, that's what storytelling needs. If you feel the same, hit that subscribe button right now. And if you're still watching, drop a like and share this with someone who still believes the DCEU deserved more. Because as long as we talk about it, it's still alive, somewhere out there in the multiverse.